Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We're pleased to bring you yet another No Major Glitches League match. It is Dark World Round 3 for all of these runners. Chexhuman versus, is it shkoople? And thisisnotyoho versus relkin. And I am very pleased to be joined on commentary by McMonkey and Vortex of Doom. How are you both doing tonight?
Doing great, thanks. How are you?
Doing good, and I'm just going to get them off. So I will talk to you later, and thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Yeah, and thanks to the crew earlier for an exciting four-way race. It's fun to have two of these in one night. How you doing tonight, Vortex?
I'm doing great. I got to cool down from my own race with two four-way NMG races in a row. That's quite a treat to get this much NMG all at once. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's looking like Thursday is race day for NMG League. There's a lot of races these past couple weeks scheduled on Thursdays, so mark your calendar next week. I think we'll have this, hopefully have the same thing. We got about 30 seconds here or so until we're off and running. But yeah, we've got a really close matchup. All these guys are very close in PB, with the exception of maybe Yoho is a fair step faster than the rest of them. But anything can happen in a race.
Yoho is in the lead with a 124.53 PB, and shkoople bringing up the rear with a 125.28. So yeah, it's going to be very close, I imagine, if it all goes well.
Yeah, it's all certainly within the realm of a single run. It's very hard to get close to your PB in a race situation.
Yeah, certainly something that no one's counting on, but everyone would like to. And if anyone's going to do it, it would be, these guys who are all, pretty close to the top in the Dark World bracket. This is 1-1. So they are not, they aren't, Airy, Doomtap, Fricker, and Fox were 2-0, but these guys are the next runners up.
Yeah, and also a couple of very recent PBs from shkoople and relkin, just both of them within the last week, it looks like, got their PB. And relkin's just been flying up the leaderboards. He had his first sub 90 recorded on speedruns.com in November, and now he's at low 125. So that's just a blistering pace of improvement.
I think relkin hit sub 90 during the NMG tourney earlier in the year. Probably waited to submit. But who among us has not waited to submit a PB? Nice upslash from everyone. Escape here. Yeah, not much to talk about for the first, 11 minutes of the game or so until we get the boots. A lot of the same strats. I don't think we'll see really any variation from any of them. Well, we might see one. I think we might see a one pot for ball and chain coming up.
Yeah, it was not any major differences. I mean, the one pot versus the 8/ coming up on ball and chain is, a relatively small difference if they're both executed perfectly, which they rarely are. So they end up being pretty close to the same. It's what, on the order of 15-20 frames different?
Yeah, if that. I think shkoople said that for his part, he lost a minor amount of time most of the time doing 8/ actually, just with the way he does both of them, and it was just too easy for him to lose time.
Yeah, and I've heard that from a couple different runners that, it's sort of a risk reward. The 8 slash is in theory going to be faster, but it's hard to do it consistently enough faster than the 1 pot. And the 1 pot, you can almost always, it's a lot easier to be consistent with the 1 pot because you only have to get 4 slashes in.
Let me see this screen with all the runners, walking with Link. They're walking right with Link having his face just up against the wall. That was one of the first bits of quote unquote speed tech that I remember hearing about and being like, man, this is silly stuff. Just to avoid anti-pumps and resetting Link's movement pattern, losing literally 1 pixel of movement over 1 frame, potentially, not even guaranteed. You just stay facing the same way after you get off the stairs, and it looks so silly, but like everybody's used to it by now if you've watched enough NMG or run enough.
Yeah, it's speedrunners are funny like that. They'll describe single frame time losses as being eternities, or single digit frame loss, and at the same time say nothing in Light World matters. It's hard to make sense of it sometimes. But in that case, I think it's it's a matter of it being about as free to execute as anything, and if you could potentially save a frame or two, then you might as well do it if it's free.
Definitely.
A little bit of fun with the snakes there for Chex. That was unfortunate. Not an easy path through that room, and sometimes the boomerang doesn't go exactly where you want.
Yoho also might have not gotten to the wall or done something weird with the snakes. The bat was not in a place that I am used to seeing it. I could be wrong about what went wrong, if anything. Nice key rat RNG for all 4 runners, really.
Yeah, that's what they like
Chex
to
got
see.
very good RNG, or Shkoople got very good RNG. Of all of the RNG aspects of Escape, there is nothing more potentially impactful than the key rat. There's nearly 2 second swing, I think, between the best and worst RNGs. Best case.
Yeah, and that's assuming you execute it correctly when the key rat goes top left, which can be difficult. It's a tricky boomerang throw to pick up that key, but they all got through. I think they're all going to be reasonably happy with their escapes.
Yeah, I don't think any of them had like their ideal escape, but nothing disastrous, no big time losses, all very comfortably sub 6.
And unsurprisingly, all picking
up Sank exit. Yeah, picking up Sank Heart, I think there have been a couple people who have not done it in the tournament, but I think for a tournament setting, the risk to reward, the potential reward is so high that the guaranteed risk of like 3 to 4 seconds is plus heart lag or whatever is pretty low. It's a very good value proposition. So if you ever pick it up, a tourney race is a very good time to do so.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll see a lot of strategy changes from these guys. They're most of what they're doing in PB attempts, they're going to be attempting here in the race. There might be a couple of small changes, not going for an early bomb jump in Hera or something along those lines, but nothing major.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a strong case to be made for doing what you do every time is going to be you're going to perform the best that way. If you start trying to play a little safer, it can very quickly throw off your rhythm, and you just you will not be playing as well that you're doing strats you're not used to. So it's going to be a pretty small number of things that you might change in a race setting versus a PB attempt. And the people who skip Sankheart normally have done it in run, or the people who have skipped Sankheart in the tourney also do it in their PB attempts. They just don't want to see a different heart count in Meyer or TR and have to think about what that means for it's just to keep everything consistent. That kind of consistency has massive value.
Yeah, that really seems to be the name of the game in working your way up the leaderboards, and particularly for the Dark World division. They're going to be experienced and comfortable enough with everything that they're doing that there's not going to be any second thoughts about strategy.
Yeah, one very minor difference that I've seen from the runners so far is their management of the popos with regards to like booming and slashing. Chex, showing the hallmarks of a glitch player who rarely has the boomerang this early, is slashing every popo that is in his way. Shkoople has been booming a lot. Yoho has been slashing quite aggressively. Slashing, I think if you hit something, I think it's like 3 frames slower than a boomerang.
But you have the benefit potentially of advancing prize packs to try to get some rupees, although none of the runners here are in good shape when it comes to rupees.
Yeah, Yoho got quite unlucky with his he was set up very well to have the red on the one free drop before the big key, and it didn't drop anything. So you have the option of like holding your sword up to maybe poke for a nice rupee in front of you, or in double readies. But that again starts getting into the strats you're not used to territory, and rupees are kind of a luxury anyway. Yoho having fine, but slightly concerning ZGR.
Yeah,
none of the runners. Well, Relkin is making out like a bandit, rupee-wise.
Yeah, he got the 20 drop, and he also just got off that Zelda Gamer room. He was probably just a pixel or two from getting bumped in the face by that Igor. But they all make it through Eastern without any major disasters, and all within a couple seconds of each other. And Chex, who I think was pulling up the rear out of Escape, is now leading the way out of Eastern Palace. So great start to the race. Let's hope it keeps going like this.
I think Chex is still behind by a split. He's behind.
I think my
might be desynced.
Yeah, I think I was desynced for a second there. I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close for all 4. First spin speed of the game. 2, 3, 4. All getting it first try. It's a very, very important tone setter, and that's one of the most valuable spin speeds in the whole run. I was just asked about it the other day, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's virtually always worth it to just keep going for it, because like you can, if you get it this next try, it can make up for like 2 of those missed attempts over failing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the value as a tone setter, can't be understated. Getting the feel for that, you're going to do it a number of times in the run, and surprisingly, all 3 of them, all 4 of them, skipping the unholy spin speed. So,
which is appropriately one of the least valuable spin speeds that anyone goes for. The one on the way out, as we see, I think all 4 going for. Yep. Is significantly better, and it's, at least to me, it didn't feel intuitive at first that it would be that different between them, but just with where the stairs are and how much time you get to be going fast, it really does make a difference.
Yeah, and I imagine a big part of that is, the fact that you can charge your sword up while moving down the stairs, and walking down the stairs versus with your sword out, or or not doesn't change your movement speed. Versus walking over land, you walk slower with your sword out.
So far, good desert overworlds for all 4 runners. Most of desert is going to be is pretty low variance. There's more RNG than you might think at first with the Popo Genocide Room and the cannonballs, but it's a pretty consistent dungeon until you get to the boss, which is I think where we'll probably see the main separation if there is any.
Yeah, going from one of the more consistent dungeons to one of the highest variance bosses.
Look at bonking up onto the torch. Kind of surprises me. I don't know what the difference on it is. I'm sure it's not much.
And that's one of the fun things about watching this tournament and seeing so many of these races. You'll see little things like that, and for anybody who is a speedrunner of this game or just interested in the tech, gets you to thinking and experimenting to see if something actually does save time, if it's worthwhile. You can learn a lot just by watching these guys.
3 out of the 4 runners getting the good RNG where they can just go and dash in and dash out of cannonball. Shkoople had to stop and wait. Handled it okay. Pretty uneventful desert so far for all of our runners.
Just about what you're hoping for in desert.
Yep, Yoho and Chex having to pick up, or choosing to pick up. Oh, did Chex miss the? Did he miss the switch or hit it twice?
I think he just missed it.
But that 5 rupees is the last halfway decent rupee pot in the game before you need all your rupees. And that pot it definitely beats picking up all 4 from the first tree pull. So
yeah, and they're all now in a position where they're fine for the tree pulls. A few extra rupees wouldn't hurt, but they don't need anymore. Relkin with 25 is that's an interesting number. It's not quite at the point where you can save a red rupee unless you grab a bunch of blues. I never know what the cutoff is in that 20-25 range. What the right strategy is.
If you have 30 or 29 going to the first tree pull, you can grab 3 blues and skip a red. But it's not worth at 25 getting all 4 blues to skip a red, because the last blue is a lot slower than skipping a red is fast. But we are on big difference maker here. I only saw Relkin and Yoho's openers. Neither of them were quite what they wanted, but pretty good cleanup from Relkin, definitely.
Yeah, definitely good cleanup from Relkin. Shkoople having some adventures. I think he ended up with a 4 cycle there.
As well.
Yeah, looking like Chex maybe made up a little bit of time on Shkoople there in that fight. And Yoho losing a little bit to Relkin. Although this is a 4-way race, this is, for the purposes of the tournament, 2 one-on-one races, and we have them stacked vertically. So the runners who are officially matched up against each other for the tournament are above or below each other.
On to the best split in Light World. It's where all the adventures happen. Tower Para. First big trick. Big likely reset point. It's not that likely. It very rarely goes wrong at this level, but fake flippers is a soft lock risk, and it's very, very worth getting consistent. don't have any of the 4 runners going for the free boomerang menu.
I'm pretty sure that boomerang menu has been confirmed impossible to remember.
Definitely have to commit pretty hard to doing it, and like I've been doing it since it was discovered, and I still forget it somehow sometimes. Like, all making it to Death Mountain with full health, which isn't guaranteed. Let's see if all of them make it off. Relkin releasing a spin there was actually pretty heads up. He had his sword out in case the Deadrock got to him, and he was probably fine even if he didn't release it. But taking the time to just make sure he was a little safe there.
Yeah, and you always run the risk with the Deadrock that close to where you're dropping the old man off that he'll just run right into you when you're paralyzed waiting for the old man to walk back home.
Check's getting bullied a little bit on the ladder, but does eventually get it off and make it up there.
Yeah, the good news for Chex is nothing ever goes wrong in the dungeon for Hera.
Oh yeah, never ever. Interesting. It looked like Chex like intentionally took the diagonal hop.
It looked to me like he was going for a quick hop and just got a little to the
far.
moved left instead of turning to face left. And just hit the diagonal.
I was thinking that like if the Deadrock is in a certain spot, going left can like make sure it's despawned, which could be a kind of savvy move, maybe worthwhile. Oh, we see this is a Yoho specialty strat from Shkoople and Yoho. Pot spin speed. If you activate spin speed, pick up a pot, and then go onto the stairs. But since you're carrying a pot, you can't you can't go upstairs, so you can use those stairs for spin speed.
So long as, and I may have found this out when trying this strat out in the practice hack, so long as you don't get hit by a tile while you're activating the spin speed on the stairs, because that will knock the pot out of your hand and knock you up the stairs, which you don't want to happen.
Oh no. Shkoople showing that throwing a pot is possible.
Oh, that was an ambitious dash by Chex. He could hit the switch just fine, but walked to the center of the room. Looked like he might have had room for a dash, but the mini Moldorm dove at him. Yeah, and he's taking a death warp here. I don't blame him. This had half a heart going into the climb for Hera. You're much better off taking the death warp, taking those 10 seconds or so time loss, and having a better chance of making it out of the dungeon.
I can remember how to menu from Lamp. He saves a menu this way, off mirror, or off lamp to mirror and off mirror to bombs. So.
All right, so far 3 out of 4 bomb jumps successful. That's good.
Relkin and Yoho frame for frame into Moldorm.
Well, that was clearly an unfamiliar menu from Chex. I think he went to every item at least once. Oh no! Yeah, unfortunate there. Got a little greedy, trying to squeeze through and get by that Kodongo. Didn't work out. But yeah, Yoho and Relkin and Shkoople just a couple seconds behind. They're pretty close so far.
Shkoople went for the spin speed. Yoho didn't. I don't know if Yoho ever. Oh wait, maybe Yoho did, and Katie got in the way, giving Libby's down a heart.
And we got
Relkin picking up with a 5 arrow pot when he has 14 arrows already. That's I think that's pretty surprising, but it might just be a race situation. Relkin's tree pull route has always made me chuckle a little. It's it's pretty fast. He's a fast player, but he's the only one who kills the particular enemies he does that I have seen.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen this myself.
Does finish up Farah.
Yeah, Chex had some issues getting up the mountain, took a lot of damage, ended up taking an intentional death in Hera basement, and then got bullied again on the way up the tower and ended up dying to Kodongos after the bomb jump. So that explains why he's lagging behind the rest of the runners here, who are all on the same cutscene, all within about 10 seconds of each other.
So Chex just took a hit on the tree pull. Was it before he pulled or after? Because
it was before.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and chat pointing out that apparently our stream here for commentary is a bit ahead of what they're seeing. I've got both open now, and it is, Chex's in particular is running a fair amount ahead. Well, into Aga Tower we go.
Farming a couple guards to get that heart back. Aga Tower, if you have beams, especially for the first 2 rooms, I know every runner at this level is comfortable doing the first 2 rooms with beams, and many runners are not comfortable doing the first 2 rooms without beams. So taking a little extra time to farm convenient guards, definitely very defensible.
Yeah.
Still having a little trouble in that first room, but that was just a little stutter. Cleans it up well.
Yeah, and that's one of those strategies using the
Chex did get hit after on the pole, apparently, I think.
Yeah, using arrows in the beginning of Aga Tower is not something that you practice all that often, so even if you know what the right strat is for that, it can be hard to pull it from the recesses of your memory on demand, especially during a race.
Doing the correct backup, though, on the Reds.
Yeah, I like that backup of getting your 4 kills before you get to the courtyard. I know that there's at least one strat that calls for charging a spin and killing one of the blue guards right before, but I find that you can end up getting yourself into trouble a little bit more often that way. Those blue guards can be a pain when you're trying to get to the tree.
Relkin having a little trouble in Red Alert. Yoho made up a fair amount of the deficit there. Relkin was having a really good Aga Tower up to that point.
Yeah, now shkoople and Relkin are about frame for frame. And now to the blue balls.
Big equalizer in this race, potentially. Not that this race needs a whole lot of equalizing right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more of a unequalizer at this point because they're so close. I think if Yoho got 15 blue balls in a race, I think that he would probably be happy about it at this point. That at least is something rare enough to be proud of.
that would mean his next run is virtually guaranteed to have fewer at that point. So, but yeah, Yoho has not had a run with less than 3 blue balls in like a week or something.
Yeah, I think he said it's 20 straight runs with more than 3 blue balls.
It's over. I don't know what that means. We'll find out momentarily, though. The streak is over or the run is over. Looking like the streak might be over. That was a gold agate tower from shkoople, 5 out of 7. Very good. Oh, and that is definitely not.
Yeah, that was 2 for Yoho. Looks like we've got 3 from each of Relkin and shkoople. So, 2 versus 3, it's what, 12-second time difference or so. So they'll still be pretty tight going into pod.
Meanwhile, I haven't for checks, but I think I haven't seen any blue balls. People hit the spin speed. Did Yoho get the spin speed? He must have, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and Pizza Sub pointing out in chat, considering taking a intentional and unintentional death in the light world, Chex isn't all that far behind. One major mistake from shkoople, and he's either right in it or ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the pyramid before anyone else is in pod. Which, like with 2 Hera deaths, that is not at all a guarantee.
I didn't see. It might have been 0 or it might have just been 1, but I know that Chex didn't have very many.
Did make up time there. shkoople showing us his sword before heading into pod. Yeah, a very good light world for shkoople by his standards. I know that 2748 has to be pretty close to his best Aga entry. I think it's pretty close because he had a very similar one last week against Doomtop. Yeah, 7 seconds. So.
Yeah, and I believe he's running against his sum of best, and it was only 18 seconds behind sum of best. So that's a damn good light world.
But as you alluded to earlier, light world doesn't matter, and there is a lot of game left to be played. Ooh, Relkin throwing that bomb a little high. I don't know if he knew and opted to take the hit or just hoped it would be fine. Either is pretty defensible. He's hoping for the mini helmet to bail him out now. Oh, Yoho getting greedy with the dash up. Just hoping that berry wouldn't electrify. So both of them will be hoping for a friendly heart from the mini helmet.
Yeah, and shkoople may be getting a little lucky. He slashed the same berry that electrocuted Yoho and didn't get electrocuted. I don't know if that's guaranteed to always be safe on the slash if you do it fast enough, but it looked a little scary to me. Oh, and interesting, shkoople he was 1 pixel off the first time on that and opted not to do sword buffers, maybe because it's a race situation. I feel like normal runs would have sword buffered that, but a few extra menus there instead.
Yeah, shkoople, if I assume he is watching. to some degree, given that he has posted in chat.
Yeah, I think that's a confirmation there.
But he knows at this point like what the margin is, and like a hammer jump fall would be the kind of thing that it wouldn't like flip the lead, but it would make it a lot closer. So reducing those mistakes in a race situation. Chex going for some sneaky quick movement to get into place. Ends up doing an extra menu at the very end to fix it. Nicely done, though. But yeah, just one of those things where it's better safe than sorry.
No reason to take the risk of giving a big chunk of the lead back.
Shkoople going for the facing left that I'm convinced is a scam. Stairs.
Is there theoretical time save on facing left?
I think a frame of, because it means you don't have to switch directions once you get downstairs, like from the diagonal to the whatever. So.
Oh, and Chex running out arrows, needing to pick up a pot because the red mimic didn't
getting ahead of
drop
me again.
many. Oh yeah,
Falling behind again.
No, yeah, it seems like the Twitch
internet's
stream
too
is
good.
pretty good, but for some reason Chex is on our stream is a little bit ahead of everybody else. So I'll keep an eye on the Twitch stream and try not to spoil things.
Nice helmet fights for everyone, though. Chex is going to be in Helma before Shkoople's text starts, so that's... Okay, never mind. Chex is ahead even on my stream.
But pretty close to that point.
Yeah.
So, still we're looking at, what, about a minute?
Roughly.
Yeah, minute 10 coming out of Aga, so it doesn't seem like he lost or gained much in pod so far.
4 hearts down for Chex on Helma, but a pretty good fight. Timing is. Yoho getting lucky. See it. Relkin almost got lottoed there too. First one.
Yeah, one of the more infuriating parts of the run is just getting lottoed out of your control, losing hearts. At a certain point, the heart loss in Thieves Town doesn't hurt quite as much. It's not the scariest of splits.
Yeah, it's really mostly the time that I worry about when I get lottoed more than the hearts. Thieves is a split where if everything goes right, you're never going to be in danger of dying. But it can go from 100 or 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
Yoho, by the way, did hit his least favorite, most stressful screen in the game, that bridge hammer dash. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it's a sneaky, scary one. Really, everything from leaving Thieves Town until you're over that bridge is sneaky scary.
Not getting the spin speed first try.
And that was odd, a little odd from Shkoople not holding his sword out through the dash from south of Grove and having to re-slash.
I think ideally what Shkoople did should be faster. By single digit frames, I'm sure. Not a big margin, but The big benefit to holding your sword out there is that if you miss the spin speed, you can try again. Less cost because you haven't slashed yet. So after the lotto from Yoho and the bong from Shkoople, yes, we saw it. Pretty uneventful overworld for all 4 runners.
Yeah, getting lottoed and that large amount of lag on Yoho's dash there is about the most exciting thing so far in the Thieves Town split. All right, into Thieves Town. A lot of long dash lines in here. A few errands to run before we fight the boss. Again, not a dungeon where there's a whole lot of different strategies to try out. Some RNG and Hellway is about the most excitement we'll see here.
Yeah, there's a couple different accepted strats for basically every screen, but you'll see virtually all runners at all levels do one of a couple things, and it's all down to mostly preference. This is a dungeon where just raw movement really shines, and like my gold is a 708. The best one anyone's ever done is a 659, and I don't think we do any strats differently. It's just that you'll see a lot of separation just on movement. It's doing everything cleanly, starting your dash as well. That was a terrifying Zazak for Chex on that first Thieves Town screen. Shocked he got away without getting hit there. Very smartly chose to walk up instead of dashing. Dashing would have been faster to get off the screen in a perfect world, but you stand too long in one spot for the way that Zazak was moving.
Yeah, and a good Hellway God Pixel from Relkin caught him all the way up with Shkoople at least, and just a screen or so behind Yoho.
Yoho picking up the toilet bomb in Thieves. It's probably one of the best backup bombs. Ooh, Relkin grabbing it. His Relkin's bomb count is a little suspect, because I know he normally at least does boomer shopping, which is a little more bomb tight, since you can't get a bomb for Ice Rod in Swamp. Or no, yes you can, because you do Swamp before Mire. Sorry. It's Long Swamp that sucks in that regard. But he was still at 4 bombs, and that one's probably the best bomb remaining.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have a little extra bomb safety in a race.
Oh, Yoho waited, knowing that he was due the arrows. He suctioned into the door, I think. Or didn't wait long enough. Heartbreaking. He knew it. He stopped waiting. Prize pack management is... I don't want to say it's really important, because, it's a matter of a couple seconds between best case and worst case, completely, and there's far more variation in ammo routing based on other things too. But that's definitely one big thing you'll see a lot more as you go, is higher level runners will rely more on the prize pack drops, because they know they can get them, or they can put themselves in positions to get them.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just having the available mental real estate to track it. It's not terribly difficult to keep track of. It's really just one prize pack that matters. But yeah, having the bandwidth to track that in addition to everything else that's going on, I think comes with just being more seasoned. Yeah, Chex pointing out that didn't take any damage in that Thieves Town split aside from a self-inflicted wound on a spike, so that's pretty good effort there. Yeah, just 6 seconds separating Yoho, Relkin, and Shkoople so far coming out of Thieves Town.
Very, very close race on there. And Chex, you know, still not that far behind. Not losing much ground. Benny.
Yeah, actually gaining a couple seconds there, it looks like.
Everyone but Relkin. Relkin had a 706 Thieves. That's quite good considering that he lost probably almost a full second to like turning around for that toilet bomb. That was a very nice Thieves. Missing that spin speed too. No. Just like that. Got very close between Relkin and Yoho again. That fence dash, man. It's
a trap.
It's so much time though. Like going for it and bonking is like 20 frames slower over not going for it at all. It's like a surprisingly fine. It's so good to go for.
Yeah, you don't have to succeed a extremely high percent of the time to make it worthwhile.
Nice mummy run. All three. Giving very rude RNG. In the following room, I mean. How many EBJs do you think we see?
I think 2. That would be my guess.
2? Oh, well. Relkin's was kind of like an in-between.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm not sure if that counts as an EBJ or not. That was sort of a hybrid between an EBJ and the bonk.
Well, so if Chex does that too, I think we can count it as 2 EBJs.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, all 3 of our runners making it through so far without any extra damage, which is nice. You can rack up some heart loss pretty quickly, as Shkoople kindly demonstrated, and Yoho as well. But going into the back of Skull Woods with just 2 hearts lost is the ideal situation.
Went for Cypher Mummies to get back 20 frames.
Yeah, no EBJ from Chex. So we're either at 1.5 or 2. Seems about right.
Moth getting away from Shkoople a little bit here.
Yeah, this is another one of those fights with some high variability depending on just RNG. You know, you
He
can't.
started with a very solid double, but the combination of the conveyor direction and what he chose to do I think he was gonna go for a poke and got taken the opposite direction of Moth and got away. But he cleaned it up well. Yoho lost a little on Moth too. Relkin had another good split.
Yeah, Relkin was only a half a second behind his gold for Thieves Town. And only a tenth of a second behind his gold for Skull. Actually, looking at his splits, aside from Pod and the Blue Ball split, he's single digits away from his gold on every single split so far, and 3 of them are under 3 seconds from gold. So he's doing pretty well. Yeah, and those Mothulas spreading our runners out a little bit here. We'll see. Ice Palace definitely has the potential to spread them out further or pull them right back together again.
Ice Palace is a very execution-heavy dungeon. Another one where just doing things cleanly counts for a lot.
Yeah, all the way through too, with the overworld, the dungeon, and the boss.
Oh my god! I can't believe Shkoople didn't get hit. That was unbelievable. Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good.
Yoho picking up the rock for Quick Fish from the top, losing the least amount of time possible. We'd love to see it. Relkin grabbed the bush from the top, which is honestly a pretty solid strat because you move a little faster when you're carrying the bush through the water than you normally would. But you lose the quick hop, which I think is the only reason it's not the best thing to pick up regardless. But Chex going for the Lulu Dash. I love to see it, though I never do it.
Yeah, and 3 good trips through Zora's domain there. No premature hops into the deep water.
I think we're complete. Yeah, not quite. Very close to having all 4 runners on the same screen. Chex just getting on to Zora's domain after Relkin moves.
Oh, that was a little tight from Relkin there. Sneaking right by the Zora.
Yeah, that screen is one of my least favorite screens in the game. The tiny warp. It's,
yeah, absolutely.
There's so much to figure out with it, and so many ways you can take some damage or lose time. Ice is a dungeon where you really, really want to have beams. For that berry key, if he electrifies and you don't have beams, you have to use another fire rod shot, pick up an extra pot, or wait for him and lose that time. So trying to preserve beams is something that most runners place quite a bit of value on. All 4 runners kept them.
And it's not always obvious when that berry is going to electrify either. So if you don't have beams and you go for a slash looking like it's going to be clear, you could end up just getting hit anyway. Shkoople having a little bit of trouble with the bombable floor. Just whiffed on his bomb throw.
But on the retry, he did actually get left of the barrier and throw it, so it was a double hit. So he didn't have to hit the switch again. So It's actually...
Yeah, good heads-up recovery.
I don't know if it might have just been better to just pick up the bomb and get onto the floor, blow it up, take that heart. The fastest thing, the fastest recovery strat is the one that you can decide on quickly. And that's a common theme, is just like the thing you don't have to think about, the thing you just do on the fly is less think, more go.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a cutoff where, you know, if you're a newer runner, that may not necessarily apply because your instincts are not quite honed yet for doing things quickly. But yeah, at this point, that almost certainly is going to be the case.
Well, and the time you spent thinking about something, like even if you think of something that's faster, if you take 2 seconds to think about something that's a second faster, like you're not saving time. Yeah, so we got an intense race coming up, but I think it is going to diverge based on shopping because Yoho has refused to do boomer shopping again. I don't think Relkin is going to just copy Yoho's shopping. I know he did that during the tourney, so he might just do the same shopping to...
Yeah, and there was nothing at all out of the ordinary about those cold stare fights, so there's definitely no use mentioning anybody's fight in particular.
It's really hard watching 4 runners at once.
When I told shkoople we would be nice, so that's the other side of that. There was some adventures.
Chex's gold stare got a slight bit away from him, but he cleaned it up very, very quickly. Yeah, we are diverging in shopping, so it's... Yoho is going to be grabbing his ether here, and Relkin is going to do swamp.
Oh, shkoople, he got the double dead rock in his way, managed to hit them both with a single slash and push them out of the way, which, you know, I feel like the odds on that are pretty low. So that was a nice turnout. That could have been a disaster of a Death Mountain, but it looks like he's going to get through unscathed. Aside from...
Not the quick warp somehow, anyway.
He saved half a second of that dancing around the warp.
We're going to see any anti-fairy skips. We didn't from Relkin. Skips.
And the difference in shopping is going to make it look like Chex and shkoople are right on top of each other, but that'll resolve itself after a couple of splits here.
Two left block and 2 right.
And we had 2 of the runners take 2 attempts to grab the lever, which makes dashing by the anti-fairy quite a bit easier.
Nothing out of the ordinary can possibly happen in Swamp. It is not a dungeon where people lose time, ever, for any reason. Certainly not a little bit at a time in every room.
Time loss is so small that they don't even show up on the time loss meter until you're done with this split.
Thought Yoho might get his shield off screen by getting hit there. Disappointed. Doing swag little hammer dash there.
Yeah, surprisingly, at this moment, only Yoho's the only one who's taken any damage in this split, which is it's kind of impressive to have 3 runners on full health this deep into Swamp, and Yoho's only down a heart and a half.
And one of them was, I think, on Death Mountain, which almost certainly wasn't his fault. I wasn't watching, I'll be honest, but you can take a heart of damage, and that Stalfos that took the other half a heart was definitely not his fault.
Oh, good job.
Sneaking past that parry.
Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be room there. I thought he was going to be stuck waiting for it to stop buzzing, but no, he squeezed right through there.
So a very good dash cancel. I think if he had gone another frame, the shooter would have shot another shot. He would have had to wait for it. Ooh. Shkoople getting the impossible to read RNG from that berry. You'll never avoid it if you get that RNG unless you always play it like a coward.
And a gutsy dash by Relkin. I'm not sure I would have been as confident that that berry would be done electrifying to dash up after picking up the arrows, but he made it through.
Very comparable swamp for Shkoople and Chex, though. I don't think it's changed much since the overworld, so I don't think there's much gaining or losing here.
Yeah, honestly, pretty solid swamps all around so far.
Getting a 0 cycle attempt from Relkin. Oh, that's definitely it. Good attempt. Kind of got charged quickly. Cleans it up fine.
Everybody doing pretty good on bombs and arrows here, so no refill room for anybody yet.
I think Chex will probably take it, I suspect. Yeah. But Shkoople taking it just to for fun, I think. He had probably already picked it up by the time he mentioned it.
It looks like Yoho had a little trouble with the first hook dash on the 0 cycle attempt. Took 3 tries or so to get that one off.
Not gonna lose any time to Relkin because of that.
Oh, Check's getting the 0 cycle. Very nicely done.
And Shkoople getting the 0 cycle. And both Chex and Shkoople going for the tried and true 2-spin.
Yeah, very hard to mess up the 2-spin versus the fire rod strat.
Ooh, very good avoidance by Relkin there. That was.
Yeah, and that's always scary when you're moving up to avoid the Tektites because you a little too hard on coming back down towards the edge. You can quick hop off and lose a bunch of time. Yeah, I'd say we're, the margins. Oh, Gold Swamp from Chex. Very well done. So I assume he probably made up a little bit of time there. But, not a huge amount of change going through Swamp despite the different shopping. I imagine once we get into the Turtle Rock split, if there are no major incidents in Mire, we'll be right back where we were coming out of Ice Palace.
Really know how to compare boomer shopping to like the times, but I know that like Chex and Relkin swamps were within 2 seconds of each other, and Yoho and Shkooples were 4 seconds apart. So, given that Yoho and Relkins were so comparable, I think all 4 of them had pretty equivalent swamps. Honestly, Blaine, I have no idea who's winning. It's Relkin or Yoho, but we won't know which until we land on Death Mountain. Rex has had a very good run since his Hera debacle. He has made up since Pod. He's made up, I think. Can't read how far behind he was at Pod, but he's made up 20 seconds since Thieves, and he made up a substantial amount in Thieves.
Yeah,
Definitely
that was a
playing very well.
minute 8 behind at leaving Pod. So yeah, definitely he's made up some time. And putting up a gold is in the last segment definitely helps with making up a gap. Although Shkoople's, he's putting up a pretty good Dark World himself.
It's still only a minute 20 behind Sum of Best, with 3 blue balls contributing 30 seconds of that.
Yeah, and Relkin continues to bang out segments that are within 10 seconds of gold, which, to be able to do that consistently is very impressive.
People not getting the Spark Gamble. Yoho menuing for the potential frame rule, not getting it.
And did
Fire Rod shot to the right, and still stopped in time and fired another one straight up. His first 2 spookies. Getting his first.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to miss it, but, accidents happen. And it's especially Spooky 2 is a pretty substantial time loss if you miss it. Oh, poor Chex. Avoiding the Spark Gamble and getting hit anyway.
Shkoopple with his stray arrow, missing the 0 cycle. I think he was lined up pretty well for it. And, oh man, that's definitely a couple seconds lost.
Yeah, a few arrow adventures on that boss fight.
He would have had 15 after, which is a great number to have. It's a better number if you get Mike arrows, but
Oh, nicely done aside from the double menu there. Good vidi fight from Relkin. Alright, last of the shopping here for Yoho, going to pick up the ice rod. We'll see all these different shopping routes converge here in a minute or so, a minute or two. I was wondering what happened to put Relkin behind. I missed, there's too many things going on. Missed Relkin missing Spooky right after I said that I wouldn't expect them to miss Spooky. And that'll give Yoho a fairly, well, I wouldn't say comfortable lead, but you know, a reasonable lead going into TR.
Yeah, definitely the biggest separation we've seen between them all race.
Oh, and the dead rock is not going to help either. Yeah, this is enough of a pad that, you know, if Yoho plays reasonably well, it can withstand some, you know, moderately bad RNG with Ganon warps and, you know, Aga blue balls and Aga 2.
Outside of the dead rock, though, Relkin definitely had less adventures on Death Mountain. Oh, Shkoople just missing picking up the rock before the dead rock goes in. Dead rock hit him.
Yeah, and that was like a double bad RNG. He needed that dead rock to move, make the wrong move twice. So, you know, that's what a 1 in 16 that it's going to choose the wrong direction for you twice.
Chex might have been able to get above that dead rock. I am not positive. I don't blame him at all for not trying it, but honestly, Death Mountain is so hard. It is an impossible set of screens. Let's see what went wrong for Yoho. It adjusted very well. The roller room. Shkoople making the late menu to mirror choice. Good call. He is still able to get... oh no!
Oh no, Chomp's bullying Yoho, and that'll swing things right back the other way. He just missed. I think he was a little late on the second Samaria block, which didn't give him iframes, and he took the first hit from the Chomp, and then was just stuck there, and took a second one as well as a result.
Oh no! I'm watching the wrong screen at every turn. This is... oh, Shkoople and Chex got a lot closer too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chex had already made up a ton of time on Shkoople, playing really well. I mean, he says he's not going to be doing any PB attempts anytime soon, but the way this Dark World especially is going, he might have to rethink that, because he's killing it. I mean, to be coming out of Mire, he's under a minute behind PB with the 2 deaths in Hera. That's pretty incredible.
I think the second death costs at least a minute, that late in Petting Zoo. Yeah, so this is very close. All 4 ways, actually. It's gotten close again.
Yeah, we're right back to both neck and neck and within range of a couple of points of RNG later in GT and on Ganon.
Falcon not trying to get to that door. I think he could have. Yoho picking up that heart, not wanting to avoid another death. I don't blame him at all. The difference between 4 and 5 hearts in Turtle Rock is very large, actually, especially at this point in the dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. The rollers, the laser beams on Laser Bridge. There's a bunch of things that'll do. Trinex, they'll all do 4 hearts of damage to you.
Nice arrow pickup from Chex.
Yeah, we can see on our feed. Chex is the only one with the camera. He had a smile and a nod for that 10 arrow drop. He was quite happy about it. All right. One of the scary parts done for Yoho there.
Himself out. Adjusting very well. Expect Yoho to grab the heart and the magic here. Yeah, to get back up. Man, these are close races.
Yeah, the two head-to-head matches are close, and just overall, even the guys on the left are not all that far behind the guys on the right.
Oh no, Yoho! Okay. That Trinex fight was definitely not the worst Trinex fight we've had in the Dark World conference this week, but it almost made the race not close.
Yeah, and as it is, it lost him a bunch of time, even though he survived it. Of course, that's much better than dying, but had to
he
take
was
that
making
real
up
safe.
time from the death until Trinex, but I think that put him right about back where he was. Jack's just a crystal dot behind shkoople now, so it's going to come down to GT.
As you want all races to come down to. So it's 20 seconds different between Relkin and Yoho coming sort up on TR.
No one has ever lost 20 seconds in GT.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And 3 seconds different between Chex and shkoople. That's incredible. Chex grabbing the torch key. That's
definitely a staple of his runs that he. For a while, he was doing a daily RMG any %, and that key is it is the correct choice for that category. don't really
Yeah,
want to
so it may just
risk a
be muscle
heart when you have
memory.
5 max and that. It's a good key. Like it's hard to lose time in that room picking up that key. Makes for very consistent. I think all the rest of the runners will probably be grabbing the pre-Moldorm chest.
Oh, Ice are almost getting a little bit away from Relkin there. He has just enough arrows to clean it up. But that's, that's going to chip away at that 20-second lead.
Oh no! No, it's not. Oh, that was so, like... Yoho's was not as bad as it could have been, but it's not going to have made up any time.
Yeah, now we've got Yoho and shkoople neck and neck with Chex right behind. Relkin's got, a little bit of padding here going up the climb. Only 2 arrows going into the gauntlet. It's not the worst thing, but you could use a few more. Interesting to see him go back for those arrows. There's not a whole lot to use arrows for after this point.
I really like the G4 and G5 arrows, and yeah, Relkin's going for that. The G4 arrow is a very, very solid strat. Oh, this menu there, that was a scary menu. It was good that he got the RNG where the arrow hit, because it makes that menu significantly less scary. He's not gonna be using the item that he's menuing to either way. Relkin 2-cycling Landmo too.
That was the fast 2-cycle, just the first worm. That only costs you about 3 seconds over the 1 cycle.
You're having a solid finish to the gauntlet, at least. Does clutch the 1 cycle. X getting a 2 cycle. I spoke too soon. I realized I spoke too soon because the last worm hadn't popped up yet. That was very unlucky RNG. Very unlikely that the I would go down right, spawning where it did. For this run. Always makes me nervous. If I have an extra somehow, I'm like superstitious about getting rid of it before I go into that room.
Yeah, and a little scary from shkoople there, taking the fall. He didn't have a ton of time to get that last torch lit, but he made it through. He's within shouting distance of his goal. His main goal for this 4-way race was to beat Yoho, and he's so close. I just know that he's gunning for it.
Cover from Yoho. Probably does not want to risk it. And things are this close.
Oh, unfortunate, missed the triple on that fairly easy pattern, but gets it on the next cycle anyway.
That was, I think, a 5 cycle. I think that was a triple. I would not bet my life on it, but that was okay. That was I'm guessing 4 hits. Yeah.
Yeah, and shkoople's in one-hit KO territory for Ganon, so a little scary. These first 2 phases in particular, very easy to take a hit. Relkin first to drop into Ganon. Oh, Chex also taking some hits on Agatu. He'll also be in one-hit KO.
Oh my gosh, Relkin got a bad deboost from that bat. I think he knew what he was doing and knew that that was going to happen, but that scared me that it knocked him into Ganon. He got out in time.
Some nice fire bat dodging by shkoople there, while Relkin goes
a little early on torch glitch. Could have had a solid triple timing there. Yeah, Yoho's getting some warps.
Yeah, enough warps to put shkoople ahead of him. Shkoople going with lamp for a torch glitch. Maybe just feeling the need to safely get out of this Ganon fight. He's got a comfortable enough lead that I think it makes sense to take that extra second to use the lamp. And Relkin finishing off Ganon. He'll be the first to cross the bridge. GG to Relkin. Finishing with a 125.56. And it's looking like shkoople will be our second one done. He's got sword raised. Yoho's got to be just 1 or 2 hits behind. And Chex just a couple hits behind that. What a close race.
Yeah, GG's all 4. It was, yeah, very close race.
And we have Relkin in here with us now. GG, Relkin.
Hey, GG's. Thank you.
We're seeing Chex finishing up the Ganon fight here.
As well with a race time of 1:26.43. Chex setting up for the dash out.
And rapid fire finish, only about 1 minute and 15, 20 seconds behind between all 4 runners. Really close race all around. GG's to all the runners. So, how did you feel going through the race? It looks like you were on a pretty hot streak at the beginning of Dark World.
Yeah, I was definitely playing very well at the beginning of Dark World. I nearly golded both Thieves and Skull. Pod, I lost my mind a little bit at Hammer Ump. I don't know, I just lost focus and just kind of flailed. But then Thieves and Skull were really good. Ice was okay, and Swamp, that's where my biggest time saving my PB is, so I got pretty close to even there after coming out. But then the end was quite different.
Yeah, it was an adventure from TR on for pretty much everybody. I think Chex probably had the least dramatic TR through, but you had a pretty dramatic Hera there, Chex. You battled back and kept it a very close race.
Thank you. I went from not having fun to having fun again.
I'm sure the gold
which is really weird in a single run.
Yeah, I'm sure the gold coming out of swamp helped with the having fun again.
Yeah.
And we got all 4 runners in here now. Welcome, Shkoople and Yoho. Well,
GG.
we had Yoho for a moment. Not sure what happened there. GG, Shkoople.
Hey, GG's. It was a pretty fun run up until, I died. I was basically tied with my PB with 3 blue balls. 2 extra blue balls.
Yeah, I looked away for just a second. What happened in Chomps?
He just sat on my face, and it felt really good.
Sounds just like what happened to Yoho in Chomps.
Yeah, I didn't see Yoho's because I was busy having the same thing happen to me, but it sounded like from chat's reaction that it was very similar.
GG, Yoho.
Thank you. It was disappointing.
Yeah, it was. For us watching, it was a great race. I mean, you guys, Chex had some adventures in Hera, but the 3 of you were within 10-15 seconds of each other, and then Chex clawing his way all the way back to make it a close race at the end. It was a lot of fun to watch. What do you? Obviously the Turtle Rock death was unfortunate. Was it just a little late on that Samaria block on Chomps?
I think I guess I was just late. I don't know. That was a rough RNG. Maybe I might have been on the block a little bit early. Like I could have maybe blasted later even, and then gotten more iframes. I don't know. It was a real bad RNG where he just gets up in your face. So you got not much choice there, and I don't know.
Yeah, and the rest of your TR was on edge. You were low health for pretty much the whole thing. So good job getting through the rest of the split, despite kind of nursing it along in terms of health.
Yeah, they decided to disable drops when I was going through, so I just had no help ever.
Still a very good TR until Trinex. You clutched it out. So props on that, definitely.
Yeah, I think Vortex was noting that you were definitely gaining time going through TR after the death until the Trinex adventure.
Yeah, great race. We're all of you. I noticed 3 of you in chat at certain points, but I'm sure you're all more focused on the run than the restream. Relkin, I did not see. Were you watching? Did you know like where you stood in the race at all, Relkin?
No, actually, this time around, I opted to just not watch basically the entire time. I actually did turn it on right at the end after I killed Aga2 and saw that I was the only one finished with Aga2. So yeah, but for the rest of the race, I kept it. I just didn't look at my phone or anything like that.
And how did you guys feel about the 4-way race in general compared to the one-on-ones you've been doing?
I like it. I got to race lengths twice. That was great.
Yeah, it was fun. It was neat.
Yeah, I enjoy these.
I think it's fun. Takes a little bit of the pressure off. But I do like the 1v1 matchups a little bit more. But it's it's my fault. I scheduled after they did.
No, it's my fault.
How dare you be open to availability?
Great. Well, anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap it up?
Not just a general thank you to everybody involved. It was fun.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'll have to watch this one back because, like I said, I didn't watch any of it, so I didn't see the progression of how everyone was in relation to each other. So, but yeah, I was definitely really nervous going into this just because I basically this last week and then this week were both against a 124 runner, and I always look up to those runners in a sense just because I think to myself, their skill level is better than mine, therefore I have a challenge, and therefore I need to really, really focus in. And I'm glad I kept focused. So
It's so hard to focus.
it is.
I've been having a lot of trouble staying within a minute of my PB, and it is really hard. But yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to practice, so I can't really like. Some rooms I'm getting even more rusty as I do them in races, which is weird. But yeah, it's hard to de-rust without practice.
I think there's definitely like when you are de-rusting or practicing stuff, there definitely is a period often where it gets worse before it gets better, just because you're learning more about the room and you're thinking a little harder. So it's I think that's definitely just a part of the process.
Yeah, that's really true.
Well, GG's to our official race winners, Shkoople and Relkin. Moving on to the next round.
Oh yeah, GG's by the way, Yoho.
Yeah, GG's Relkin. And thanks to the comms and the restream and everything for doing this, putting this together.
Yeah, GG's to all the runners, and good luck in your upcoming matches. And also thank you very much, McMonkey and Vortex of Doom, for doing commentary tonight. Always appreciated.
Cool.
So, any last words before we close up?
The Logic Tournament next week. Time to give up on NMG and practice only glitches.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. As I said, good luck, everyone. And we hope to see you again here soon. So take care and have a good night, morning, or afternoon. Bye.